Hello! You know who this is already, and you know what this is.
Yes. Anyway, this video is going to be us talking about what we want to see from the next Elder Scrolls game.
The Elder Scrolls VI, if it actually happens.
It's going to. Bethesda made money on it, they're making another one.
If an asteroid hits and they all die, no, they're not.
Okay, well, if a terrorist attack happens at Bethesda's headquarters, I can see maybe it not happening.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it's happening.
So, here is the Lingering Trees top 10 things we want to see in the Elder Scrolls VI. The first thing that we want to see would be improved RPG elements in the game. Now, that's not to say that we don't like the sandbox effects.
Yeah, just very clearly the last
three
or four Bethesda games have been sandbox games and not overall RPGs, which is great. I like sandbox games. Just improve upon the RPG elements.
Bring back some of the skills that were lost. Bring back a class system where you can level up faster if you use the set skills that you have as a class, and it gives you a set bonus having that class, but also allow you to level up with skills outside your class. It might be slower, but it'll allow you to role play more naturally, like you had a profession.
Or you had a crappy profession and you wanted to go do something different.
You want to do something different. Allow your character to be able to change yourself, but also put in things that are kind of like set limits. Like with Skyrim, they took out birth signs because they wanted to make it more fluid for everybody. Give us something like that where we can choose a birth sign that helps us limit ourselves to be able to roleplay better instead of just running around grabbing whatever stone is most convenient.
See, actually, I've always said that I like what Bethesda did with Skyrim, but they simply make it so once you pick that birth sign, you can't change it.
That's what they've done in all the games.
And
you can choose birth sign from the very get-go.
Yeah, so you could pick one right there, but it tells you, there's 7 other ones you can find, or 8, or 6, and if you pick this one, you can't change another one. That's all I want. So
something like that to give ourselves self-imposed restrictions. The second thing we'd like to see is a better way of getting things done, or rather, more variety.
So you have more options in the way in which you get things done, and more options in the way things can end, and not just, oh, you did this, so this person does that. If you do a different way, do something a different way, just the same thing with the main quest. If I do the main quest a certain way, then I want it to end a certain way,
Yeah, well, and there also shouldn't be one way to do the main quest. Back in Morrowind, you could actually end the main quest in one of, I believe, 4 ways. Either following the main quest, killing one of the in-game main characters and getting a special item off them. I'm not going to spoil the game for anybody who hasn't played it. And using that to complete the main quest at a penalty. Or getting 2 other main items without having the other item, which would be called Wraithguard. That's all I'm going to say. And completing it, and then of course there's the whole thing of just not doing it at all. Whereas in Skyrim you have 2 choices: don't do it, or do it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
So give us more choices.
Just more choices. Not saying like every quest has to have a bunch of different options, but a couple would be nice.
Some backdoor options to quests, some quests where you can actually betray people, that kind of thing.
The next thing that really should be changed is magic, because if you go back to the previous games, they've taken out a ton of different spells, and in Skyrim, was Alteration was just like utterly crappy.
Well, yeah, that was pretty bad. They even took out a whole school of magic, which is, in my opinion, very ridiculous. But not just bringing back old spells, which I don't want to hear any excuses about levitation. They can make it work. And it's very possible.
I was going to say, even if levitation is outlawed, you still should be able to do it.
Yeah, it's not going to stop bandits from learning it, right? But not just bringing back old spells and old schools, the ability to create spells.
In Fallout 4 and weapon crafting benches, I expect to have benches that lets you create custom spells. That needs to be in the next one.
And no restriction to it where you can't put a restoration spell and destruction spell in the same spell. You should be able to heal yourself while casting a fireball. If you want to do that as one unified spell you can click instead of selecting 2 spells, 1 at each hand. Because what if you want a third option as well? Electrocution with fire.
And throwing fire out of your eyeballs. I mean, there needs to be options here, people.
Another thing we'd like to see is more weapons and armor. Not just more, meshes and textures. We want spears. We want halberds. We want throwing weapons. We want you to bring back medium armor. We want to be able to have an unarmored skill. It's not like some kind of weird perk that you get after you've mastered alteration or something. We want to actually be able to use weapons the way that they should be used. For instance, you can get a staff and you can beat somebody down with it in real life. In fact, staffs have been used throughout history as great weapons. A kind of blunt weapon. They also have been removed since Oblivion. What the heck, Bethesda? That makes no sense whatsoever. Why does everybody decide to stop hitting people with staffs?
Basically, advanced sticks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they are. And they work great in martial arts. So spears, staffs, throwing weapons. Come on, Bethesda, you can do this. And how about some new things like morning stars and whatnot? Those are really useful. So we want to see more variety of weapons and armor in the next Elder Scrolls.
I want consequences and a morale system returned to the game.
In Oblivion, they actually did quite a good job of having a morale system. You had infamy and fame, and in Morrowind, you had a reputation. Both of them actually handled it quite well, and when you were a bad person, NPCs knew it, and they were very scared of you, and they hated you. In Skyrim, you could go and attack a shopkeeper, and as long as you don't kill him, the instant you pay your fine, you're back in his good graces.
Which makes absolutely no sense.
No, it doesn't. So we would like to have some consequences for our actions. That would be great, because, the only thing people ever say is, hey, you have fur growing out of your ears, and can you conjure me up a warm bed?
Well, that's a compliment.
Well, yeah, but they're talking about your conjuration skill. The compliments and whatnot just come off of the skills you've learned and not really what you've done. No one seems to care that you killed Alduin.
I mean, like, I do like getting complimented with how high my skills are.
Well, yes, I'm not saying they should remove that. I'm saying consequences for the things we've done, good and bad. If I do something really good, I want people to, actually notice it. If I do something bad, I want NPCs to fear me.
Exactly. I want to say, don't just mess it up by doing what they didn't follow for. I do like that there's a little bit of a morality system more than Skyrim, where your companions simply won't even go with you if you do something bad in their presence. It's really bad. But make it better than that.
Make it more diverse.
Yes.
One thing that needs to come back and was dropped after Oblivion is the journal system. Both Morrowind and Oblivion, in my opinion, had fantastic journal systems to the point where you didn't need to have quest markers on to find out where something is. It's not that hard for you to write text out to make a journal system, Bethesda. You've done tons of writing. And it's not that difficult to make it organized. It's very easy. Other games have done it. We want something that gives us more immersion and depth. Someone tells my character to do something. He doesn't write it down in a journal. He just, boom, runs off and does it after he, sat there for 5 months not doing it. A journal system would be great. And an option to turn off those annoying little floaty arrows that are on the screen, not just on the compass, but on the screen, would be amazing. I get people want to use them because they don't have time to sit there and read things and follow directions very easily. And that's fine for them, but those of us who don't want it shouldn't have to install a mod to get rid of them.
Just have an option to turn it off.
And have an actual journal system that gives you directions for more immersion and depth in the game.
I don't want to start out the game as a chosen one or something like that. I want the power fantasy to really end. I just want to start out as an ordinary dude, or just be thrown, get released from prison. That's fine.
Morrowind and Oblivion actually did a quite good job of that. Again, I'm referencing them. In Oblivion, you just happened to be in the wrong cell at the right time. And in Morrowind, the Emperor saw something in you, and he sent you out there. But as you find out later on, you may or may not actually be the chosen one, or you might just be having a case of dumb luck or skill. In Skyrim, you're the Dragonborn, because you can absorb dragon souls. And why can you absorb dragon souls? Because you're the Dragonborn. Yes, I stole that from Super Bunny Hop, but he makes a great point. Why are you the Dragonborn? Why are you this main character that's suddenly there? Why do you have to figure it out through going to, run an errand to tell a Jarl about Helgen being attacked? Why can't someone else go tell him that Helgen was attacked? No more Chosen One stuff, Bethesda. Make it interesting. Make you doubt yourself. Are you really the Chosen One? Or are you just some other guy who got lucky? One other thing that needs to come back, the guilds need to have a skill system for advancement. This was taken out even in Oblivion, but at least their guild halls were at every major town, and they had worthwhile quests. In Skyrim, you can go to the top of the College of Winterhold, becoming the Archmage and having next to no skill in magic, which is kind of pathetic. And before you say, well, you're the one who's best at getting things done, just because you're good at helping solve one major quest line doesn't mean you're going to be able to direct the school or the guild in the direction it needs to go in the future in their studies. They need to have requirements. You need to have certain skills to get to the top to show that you can continually lead the guild, not just that you're better at killing stuff. Another thing that needs to happen, there needs to be no more quest restrictions. And what I mean by that is I should be able to go into any cave or ruin without having to be part of a guild and have a very specific quest first. Before you say this breaks quests, they did it perfectly fine in Morrowind. Things can happen to make the quests work, or things that you need in the quest appear in that dungeon later on. But you should still be able to enter these dungeons, and you should be able to drop some of the quest-specific items. Why? Because Bethesda still hasn't gotten this right from Oblivion to Skyrim, where quest-specific items get stuck in your inventory even when the quest is finished. Just put a little notice on them when you drop them saying, this is a quest item, you may need this later on, are you sure you want to drop it? To save people the hassle of having to keep it in their inventory indefinitely. Remove restrictions, allow more freedom.
Lastly, they need to take out health and magic regen right off the bat. I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the game, but it should be quite a ways until you get them. It should be a level thing.
And it should also be again, class or skill thing. If you become a master of the magical arts, there should be a perk to that. You are able to absorb the magicka from the air around you, and are able to regenerate it that way. Or if you're a great warrior, your wounds heal faster thanks to your physical training. There's your health regeneration. If you think it's unfair to have both those out of the game, go play Daggerfall. You don't even regenerate stamina in that game. It's something that needs to be in the game to add an element of challenge. Or perhaps if you really want it to be an easy game, put it on easy mode if you want that, and if you don't want that, keep it on normal or hard mode. A few extra things we'd like to see that really don't have a place as solid things in the list, but are still fun things we'd like to have would be a better potion system. I should be able to carry my alchemy equipment with me. You've been able to do it all the way up through Oblivion, why not in the next game?
Yes, and secondly, you should be able to hit things underwater.
Yes.
Combat in water just seems like, I don't know, logical. You should be able to maybe have a damage reduction if you're swinging your sword, because I've swung swords underwater before.
And it works.
It works, but it's hard. Just make it so you do less damage with them.
It would be a great thing to be able to kill the slaughterfish who are chasing you. So yes, that would be nice. And one more thing, how about better mounts? Horses are great, but Tamriel's full of wild and crazy beasts that you can ride. Maybe some imported guars from Morrowind, or a giant lizard, or whatever. Just give us more variety. It would be interesting.
This is just a quick short list of things we want to see in the next Elder Scrolls game. If you agree with this list, please remember to drop a comment, subscribe, share,
and tell us what you would like to see in the Elder Scrolls 6.